I am very hungry this morning. Yeah, like I said, I'm starving. But I am still a little bit hungry, and it's especially good because I'm really, really hungry. Getting some lunch because I'm super, super hungry now.
Hello Frugivore, welcome back to the Frugivore Diet channel. So today's video is highly requested by a number of you, and that's a review of Broccoli Mum and her recent video, high volume, low calorie meals, my current hyperfixation meal for maximum weight loss. She spelled the weight wrong there. She might want to fix that up for the SEO. Anyway, I haven't heard of Broccoli Mum's channel until now, but a lot of you requested it, so here we are. And wow, I didn't have much sleep last night because a green frog was actually croaking, like basically next to our ear all night last night. And we had to relocate the frog, but the frog literally came back like a kilometer. Like we took it like a kilometer away and it hopped all the way back to basically beside our head. And if you've ever heard a green frog croaking, it is incredibly loud. So I haven't had a lot of sleep, but I'm here. We're going to do this and I'm excited. And also just wanted to say quickly, apply to join the 12-month fruit-based course. How to master a fruit-based diet and live like a frugivore, thrive as a frugivore. The first month is about visualization and making a vision book and basically manifesting your dream life. And this is actually my old vision book from many, many years ago. And yeah, we're going to go through that. We're going to do live streams. We're going to do a lot of amazing manifestation in the first month of the course. So definitely apply to join. And it's part of my VIP Facebook community. So I look forward to seeing you in there. I'm going to be opening the doors for enrollment around the 20th of December in about 4 days or so. So stay tuned. All right, so let's get into it, shall we? I'm already concerned because she is holding something that says caramelized biscuit. I can't see the rest, but all right, let's get into it. And before we get into this, it's not an attack on Broccoli Mum. It's about helping them feel their best and not be bloated and not be low energy and not feel bad, you know, because a lot of vegans out there are not feeling their best and then they check off. We don't want that. We want to keep them on this lifestyle for life. That's why I do these critique videos, okay? It's not hating on anyone. Okay, caramelized biscuit brew. She doesn't look like she's got too much energy right now, and that's probably why. And she has a mug called Tea Addict. I have to say, Amy, this is not a good sign when it comes to the start of your day. You don't really, you're exhausted. You got a mug saying Tea Addict, and then you have a caffeinated drink. I'm pretty sure this has caffeine in it to start the day. This is a red flag.
Good morning, guys. Welcome back to another video. I know I have been very absent from YouTube.
Don't worry, I can relate. Me too. Me too, Amy. But anyway, I'm going to get on to the food. Hang on. Right. Get on to the food to start with. We've got to get straight into it.
I'm going to stop talking now and let's just get into some food because I am very hungry this morning and I need to eat. I've got something very specific on my mind. It's sweet.
So I find this interesting too. I am very hungry. Remember that. I don't wake up very hungry. I'm not sure if those of you who are on a fruit-based diet as well experience this, but I don't experience this very hungry feeling to start the day because the glycogen stores are nicely topped up.
It's chocolatey, it's squidgy, ooey, gooey, full of veggies. So if you're excited about that, then let's do this together because
I'm not excited about something that has chocolate and is full of vegetables. I'm just going to let you know straight up there.
Yeah, like I said, I'm starving.
She said it again. As she was drinking her caffeine, she said, I'm starving. I don't have to say much here.
I'm calling this like a chocolate lava cake. And you can have cake for breakfast and it can be healthy and full of veggies and you can get lean in the process. And that's literally one of the most exciting things about my day is I get to start the day with something that feels decadent and like super naughty. So
interesting languaging. That she's actually wanting this super decadent, naughty. She's very focused on dense calories here because she is under eating. I can just tell from the get-go. I'm not new to this. I've coached thousands of people over the years, nearly 20 years. I was a personal trainer before that. I have a lot of experience, okay, in this. So just trust me on this one. The languaging is very telling. Hang on, is she making a vegetable chocolate cake for breakfast? Amy, I'm not sure.
Just do it. So over the last few months, I've been really getting into working out like in such a mega way. I have been moving my body on a daily basis, and when you do that, you also need to make sure to refuel. So you're getting loads of food in to kind of like help you build muscle and just like, so you're not knackered throughout the day.
This is true. This is true and very important. But she said loads of food in. You need to be more specific. If you're going to put loads of cauliflower in, this isn't not going to be the recovery food that your body needs and that your muscles need. Yeah, so we'll get into that more. But she got a watermelon bowl, I think, in the back. Or is that actually half a watermelon? But yeah, I'm glad she said that you need to refuel. But I'm feeling like she's not completely understanding this concept.
I'm going to be probably eating a lot of food today. I didn't actually go to the gym this morning, but I've been working out all week, and so today's going to be kind of like a rest day. But I still am a volume eater, and so there will be a lot of food involved. Anyway.
Okay, so she calls herself a volume eater. I would guarantee that I'm eating much, much more volume because fruit has a lot of water content and it's not cooked, so you're getting a lot more volume. But anyway, she said she's training a lot. So just keep that in mind. She needs a lot more calories when she's training.
Okay, this is probably like a cup and a half of cauliflower, so we're going in heavy on the cauliflower. And I just use frozen cauliflower because it's so convenient. I'm going to whack it in the microwave just to like squidge it up so it blends properly.
Oh wow. So she's whacking it in the microwave, and yeah, I know it is convenient, and sometimes, yeah, you can use a microwave and it's going to be okay. But for breakfast, yeah, I know people put their oats in the microwave and everything like this, but it feels very dead, like a very dead breakfast. And you've just come out of the fast. Remember that. You need living nutrition. Anyway, let's go.
Okay, so I'm going to go in with a cup. Oh, hello. A cup of oats.
Okay, that was a cup of oats. I thought that was like 2 cups, but that must have been a half cup scoop. Okay, see how... Okay, the dryness, the complex carbs, we're going to get more into it. It's very desert-like for breakfast. And I'm not saying that you can't ever have oats. It's about when you have the oats. If you're having oats for breakfast, we got to talk.
Yep. In with our cauliflower. My favorite thing is finding ways to add veggies into sweet things because you literally can't taste it and it just gives you so much more volume. So if you need a lot of food to be satisfied, that's how you do it with.
Okay, interesting what she said here. So she's adding bulk to the sweet things. Like she wants the sweetness. When you're eating foods that you don't want to taste, that is definitely a sign there. So she's trying to bulk out for less calories, more fiber. She's fiber filling.
A ton of veggies. Doesn't just have to be in savory stuff, it can be in the sweet stuff too.
Yeah, but you don't want to fill up on cruciferous vegetables, especially for breakfast. For one, it's very bloating. It's high in this indigestible complex sugar called raffinose, okay? And we lack the enzyme necessary to digest, to break it down. So it causes fermentation in the gut, and that causes bloating, digestive issues. Fruit, for instance, doesn't require this gut fermentation. We have the enzymes to break it down easily. It even contains its own living enzymes. Also, it's high in sulfur compounds, which can irritate the gut lining and cause inflammation and digestive distress as well. So it's very, very hard on the digestive system. We don't want this first thing in the morning.
Now, this is one super ripe banana, which I'm so happy about because it means it's going to add loads and loads of sweetness without having to add like loads of maple syrup or dates or something like that. So
good on her for actually eating a really ripe banana. Amy, I'm so happy to see that. It does add some simple sugars, but you need way, way more than that. So you can see she's adding some, like 1 piece of fruit so far, which 1 banana is very insignificant, okay, in comparison to the other contents of the breakfast. Those complex carbohydrates, they're hard for the body to break down. The complex carbs in the oats, it's a difficult process. It is actually quite energy draining from the rest of your body, from like detoxification, from your brain, function, from your muscle function. That energy is being diverted to breaking down those bonds, because the complex carbohydrates, the polysaccharides, they're actually like chains of sugar molecules. They can be hundreds and thousands of sugar molecules that the body actually has to break down in order to access the simple sugars. Whereas fruit's already in the simple sugar. It has a little bit of complex carbohydrate, but it's mostly simple sugars, so it's going to fuel you instantly. It's not an advantage to have the glucose come to you gradually over hours. What happens with complex carbs, because they're so hard to break down. You want that fuel instantly. You want it to come to you straight away. And it's often marketed as like a benefit, complex carbs. It's not. It's just more energy taken from your body to access that simple sugar that you should have had instantly. So hopefully that makes sense. It's really important to get that sugar in as soon as possible.
One nice ripe banana. I'm wanting this a little bit peanut buttery. Of course, you guys know I'm addicted to peanut butter.
She's addicted to peanut butter. Using this sort of languaging is definitely indicative of a calorie deficit, that she is not getting enough calories because she's addicted to peanut butter, which is very, very dense, very fatty. And when you're on the starch solution sort of style eating, you don't want to be addicted to something so fatty, right? Because it's going to mean you're going to end up eating too much fat. And that is really not good with the starches in particular. And that delays gastric emptying, that causes blood sugar issues, insulin issues, but that's something else we can talk about. But I just wanted to make a quick note here about the importance of replenishing your liver stores after the overnight fast. And what does that best is fructose. It is number one for replenishing liver glycogen stores. And your liver is depleted up to 80% of glycogen stores overnight because it's actually fueling the brain during sleep. So we need to replenish it. So if we don't have enough fructose, we're not going to replenish our glycogen stores in our liver properly. And then that means the blood sugar, the brain function, things are not going to work as well as we want them to. So that's another interesting side fact, right? And that's the importance, why it's very important to get a lot of fruit in. Okay, so she's going for the PB2 powder. And this is definitely better because it's a lot of the fat is removed. But of course it's highly processed. It's not ideal to have for breakfast, but it's not terrible.
And so I'm going in with some PB2 powder, just like one little scoop, I think.
That was not a little scoop, by the way, Amy. And it is actually really high in sodium. I'm not sure if she has a sodium-free one, but that would be a good idea.
A chalky powder as well. What is a day if you can't start it with something chocolatey?
Oh my gosh, she's red flagging all over the place when it comes to not eating enough. What is a day when you can't start it with something chocolatey? I never feel like this. I never have a craving for chocolate because I'm meeting my fructose needs in particular. It's so important. When you look at the average chocolate bar, it's over 50% sucrose, and sucrose breaks down into fructose and glucose. It's 50-50 split. And the fructose is the fruit sugar, and we're craving that. If you want to stay away from chocolate, you need to get enough fruit sugar in, and that fruit sugar comes from fruit. I'm not feeling it. I'm not desiring it at all. And she can be like that too once she learns to carb up and get enough fruit, because I can see she's under eating. She's now dependent on psychoactive stimulants like caffeine, starting the day with caffeine. She's having caffeine and theobromine in the cacao, another psychoactive stimulant. These psychoactive stimulants can really interfere with your mineral absorption, like your calcium, your iron, magnesium. You don't want to have them because they are going to potentially leave you depleted. So,
teaspoon of vanilla, some baking powder just to give it like a fluffiness.
Wow, that was quite a lot. A heaped teaspoon of baking soda, which is actually alkaline in nature. So a bit of a problem with adding baking soda is that it can neutralize your stomach acid because it is alkaline in nature and your stomach acid is acidic. So it actually can cause you digestive distress and make it harder for you to digest the food that you're eating. I would not be adding that, Amy.
What else? What am I missing? I'm going to go in with a cup of water. You could do plant milk if you fancy, but I think I'm just in the mood for water today. Oh, I know what. And then we're just going to go for some chia seeds for those omegas. And it's going to kind of act as like a little bit of a chia egg. Now, I would usually put in some like silken tofu or some chickpeas, but I have totally run out of both of them, which is very sad.
Wow, so this is quite a complex breakfast to start the day with, to break the fast. It's very complicated for the body to break down, and now she's added extra fats with the seeds, and that's going to delay the gastric emptying, okay? And that also causes blood sugar issues, potential insulin issues. It delays the energy that you're deriving from the food. Makes it harder for the body to process. It makes you heavier in the stomach, potentially bloated. It's a pretty big nightmare of a breakfast so far. Sorry, Amy.
So I'm not going to be able to add that today. And if you fancied adding like some dates or maple syrup, then you do you, or maybe like an extra banana. But I think this is probably going to be fine for me. I will taste it afterwards. But I don't need things to be super, super sweet at the moment. And so I think this will be perfect. Right, let's give it a little...
I don't need things to be super, super sweet at the moment. That's an interesting statement. At the moment. And it sounds like she is doing some sort of preparation. She's in, I don't know, she's doing something around this to avoid sugar. But look, we all want sugar. It's natural. It's okay. We don't have to deny it. We love the sweet stuff. It's not like you're broken or anything. You're working perfectly fine if you want sweet stuff.
Blend, you can see where we're at. That is yum. Yeah, I don't need any more sweetness than that. If you wanted it to be a little bit sweet.
So she's avoiding the sweetness. See, I feel like she thinks it is fattening in some way. It's causing her, you know, more calories. She's trying to avoid.
But you want to keep the calorie density low, you could also go for some little sweet.
There you go. There you go. She said it then. If you want it to be sweeter but keep the calorie density low, you can go for this. That's a problem. She's trying to restrict the calories.
Drops like this. Oh, look at that. Oh. Kind of hard to believe that there is a cup and a half of cauliflower in here, right?
Kind of disturbing to believe that there is a cup and a half of cauliflower. Of course, yeah, it looks yummy. It looks like chocolate mousse. It reminds us of chocolate mousse and everything. But when you break it down, and when your body tries to break it down, this is a complex like process. I'm surprised that I'm surprised she's eating so complicated.
Like, I promise you can't taste it. I mean, look at that. So you could definitely...
I promise you can't taste it. Then why eat it? That is my question. Why eat something that doesn't taste good to you? Because she's trying to do the bulking. She's doing the fiber filling, and she's trying to eat less calories. And this is not the focus we should have. We need to come into that abundance mentality, or else we end up dipping into the metabolic slowdown, the adaptive thermogenesis, where the body slows down all its metabolic processes. It burns less fuel, it stores more fat, and then you become fatter long term. We're trying to avoid that. You know, this is what most of the population is doing. Even other vegans who are eating these starch-based diets, a lot of them are restricting. They're getting into the metabolic slowdown. A lot of them are leaving veganism or plant-based movement. They're leaving, you know, because they're not getting the nourishment they need. And other ones are gaining again, and it's a bit of a mess, and that's why I do these videos, to help prevent that happening.
Add some more water if you wanted it to be a little bit thinner, but this is kind of the texture that I fancy today. I always like to go in with some frozen blueberries because it adds an extra bit of sweetness.
Okay, so she said she didn't want extra sweetness, but now she's going for more sweetness. And I'm glad you are, Amy, because she's going for some blueberries. But, you know, it's a very insignificant amount.
And if you're not wanting chocolate chips, but you're wanting something a little bit special on the top, I think blueberries are quite a fun way to go. So I'm just gonna squeeze those on there. And then we're just gonna pop this baby in the microwave. If you want it on the softer side, do it for a few minutes. If you want it more cakey, you can do it for like 6-7 minutes or 8 minutes or something. I think I'm gonna go for more of like a 6-7 minute. So I'll show you this when it's done. Okay, I'm too impatient. I have to have a little peek. Oh, because it smells so good in here. Oh my gosh. Okay, I don't think it's ready. it's like it's still a little bit gooey in the middle, which I do want, but I'm wanting, oh my gosh, that is hot. I'm wanting it a little bit longer.
She sounds like she's got a fun personality.
Like, so it's 8 minutes in total. Okay, we are ready. Oh, it's hot, it's very hot. Okay, so I wish you could smell this because it smells divine, but this, it's almost turned into like a blueberry kind of jam.
Sure, it looks yummy. Like it reminds us of, you know, puddings or whatever. But when you break it down, look, I just want to just go over this breakfast just quickly. It's more herbivorous based breakfast than frugivorous. Okay, it's more for a herbivore than it is a frugivore. That's always a problem because we don't have the gut of a herbivore. Okay, it's too low in simple sugars, the glucose and the fructose, which are what powers the human body and brain, glucose and fructose. Too high in complex carbs. So it takes a lot of energy for the body to digest, to actually break down the bonds, to break down those complex carbohydrates, the polysaccharides, into simple sugars, which is what we want, all right? We want that actual simple sugar. Fruit, you just go straight to it and you get it. There's none of that breakdown necessary. It's also high in the sulfur-containing compounds. It's got this raffinose, which is this indigestible complex sugar that we can't break down because we don't have the enzyme. She's not replenishing her liver glycogen properly after it being depleted up to 80% for the brain function during the sleep. It's not great. It's going to cause bloating. It's going to cause lethargy. You're not going to feel really high energy after this. You're going to need things like caffeine. It has the caffeine, the theobromine inside. That's another psychoactive stimulant. It can cause mineral absorption issues, as we spoke about, and make you reliant on caffeine. And it's not enough overall calories. You see the problem here. Hopefully you see what I'm getting at.
Compote on the top, which I really...
Okay, so I'm going to go... Okay, move on here. Oh, let's just go.
really love because then the juices kind of seep into everything. So this is breakfast, guys. I'm just so excited. Let's dive into this bad boy.
She's excited because she's so hungry. She's so depleted of glucose and fructose.
It's kind of like a thick, chocolatey pudding cake situation.
Yes, and you will pay for that, just like when you eat a cake. She also has the fats in there that delay the gastric emptying, so it's going to stay in her gut longer than it should, and that's going to cause her more energy depletion. And yeah, so I didn't think that that's actual watermelon in the background, so I'm wondering what's going on there. Why didn't she have that first?
Oh my gosh, with the blueberries, it's really good.
She likes the fruit.
So if you also want to start your day with something that resembles chocolate cake, then...
I don't. I honestly do not, because I have so much glycogen backup stores in my liver and my muscles. I have enough fuel. I'm carved up, so I don't have this desire for the junk. But yeah.
And hopefully now you can go and give it a try. You can mix up the flavors.
I'm not trying to be superior or anything like that. I'm just trying to communicate the need that human frugivores have for their basic food, which is fruit, fructose and glucose.
Do what you fancy, but it's a really great base of just like oats and cauliflower. So both of my kids are...
Oh yeah, and the oats and the mineral absorption issues, right? Interrupting the mineral absorption. We spoke about that, yeah.
We're at school today and I've got a bit of a worky day, so I'm going to be doing lots of filming for Instagram. For those of you who don't know, my main kind of platform is over on Instagram, and I do post healthy vegan low calorie density recipes there basically.
Okay, so she's on Instagram and she's quite popular on there, right?
Most days. And so this morning I've got something which I'm really excited to try. So I was on the hunt for some persimmon, Sharon fruit, for ages, couldn't find any anywhere. I don't know what happened. And then I went into my local farm shop and they had the most beautiful, okay, let me show you. Literally the most beautiful persimmon that you could ever imagine. Then
they are going to be so good, hopefully, if she lets them, no, she's probably not going to let them ripen up to be soft. I love when they're soft and squishy. Oh, good, she's got fruit.
Not super ripe at the moment, but I don't really care because I just want to like dive into them anyway. And I wanted to turn them into chocolate pudding. So my thought process was like a big kind of like almost like a tray bake, but with chocolate pudding. Because
More chocolate. We're looking at more chocolate here.
I think it solidifies when you use persimmon.
Okay, we're going to move it on. We're going to move it on to the recipe.
Guys, this is amazing. I can't believe I've never made.
So you can see she's dependent on, she's having this chocolate, she's having caffeine like quite a bit, and I'm not surprised because of the calorie restriction.
I mean, I've made a lot of chocolate sauces, chocolate puddings in my time. If you've watched me.
Okay, so she's super excited about this. We know it's great that she's got some fruit in there, but just don't destroy the fruit with the cacao. Okay, the cacao is a seed of the cacao fruit. We actually grow cacao here. We don't eat the seed. That's where the chocolate comes from. We eat the flesh around the seed, and that's what frugivores should be doing. And the reason we get punished for eating the seed is because the cacao tree is trying to protect its babies, basically. We are eating its babies. By eating its seed, it can't reproduce and make another tree. And so then we get these issues, it's kind of a toxic effect. It has its plant pesticides that give us like a toxic effect. So it's important to remember. Let's move along. And now
I've got some work to do. And it's a funny thing, like as an adult, when you're used to, oh my gosh, I'm so hot. Hold on, I need a drink of water. It's so confusing because I feel so.
And she's slim. We can see that she's slim, but it's very deceptive, okay? It's very deceptive when you're presenting a slim body and, people think, oh, well, it's working for her. It's working. See, what she's doing is working. Yes, you can calorie restrict and lose weight. I think we all know that. And you can keep it off for some time, yes. But if you do it that way, it will come back. You will be dependent on drugs to try to keep it off. You will not feel your best. You will not have vibrant energy. A lot of people don't show the in-between times, obviously, when they're suffering from the calorie restriction. Yes, you can lose weight short term, but you dip into that metabolic slowdown, the adaptive thermogenesis, and then you have fat overshoot. You can look it up, fat overshoot, where you end up gaining more weight. You have hormonal issues where you get this ghrelin, which is like the hormone that makes you want to eat more. That increases, okay, and the leptin, it decreases, and leptin is like the satisfaction hormone. So you get this hormone imbalance as well, and really it's not good. So don't be deceived if someone is just slim and you're like, well, it's working for them. It just doesn't work that way. For me, I have been slim for like 13, 15 years or something like that. So, and eating sufficiently, and you've seen me show it time and time again in What I Eat in a Day videos. So, you know what I'm doing, and you know it works, and you know I'm about the abundance.
Hot, and yet my hands are freezing cold. I can barely even like hold this glass because it's probably like 2 degrees outside or something. But I was thinking, it's funny, as a parent who get into some lunch because I'm super hungry now. So this is what I've been eating every single day, and I'm just so obsessed, and it's kind of evolved over the past couple of months, but I feel like I've got it to the point where it's perfect. It's not a meal that makes sense at all, but I don't really care. It's so good. So I'm going to show you how I do it. Okay, we want a little bit of broccoli.
Why am I not surprised there's broccoli involved, another cruciferous vegetable?
I alternate between white and...
Wow, and cabbage as well. So definitely getting a lot of sulfur content going, the compounds here.
Red cabbage, today I'm going to go for red cabbage.
Look, I'm not completely against these vegetables, but when you're using them to fill the meal and avoid actually eating fruit and eating like sweet foods and getting enough fuel, it's obviously a problem.
Leafies, tomatoes. Oh my gosh, there's so much food. This is gonna be mega. Okay, guys, and some tofu. Then
this is like going to be a gut buster. This is definitely a high digestive burden, this diet she's on.
There's all the little bits. I need some hummus. I need some, where is it?
Okay, let's move it up.
Because when you kind of mix it all together, everything kind of tastes a bit starchy. So it doesn't really feel like you're having loads and loads of veggies, even though there is so many non-starchy veggies in here.
See, people are always trying to avoid Like they don't really want to eat a lot of veggies. She's like, it doesn't really feel like you're eating a lot of vegetables. It's like, that's a sign that you're not meant to be eating a lot of vegetables.
Because it's all kind of got the potato like going through it. So that's kind of my strategy with that. So then I've been really enjoying adding some like higher protein elements into my meal just because I feel like it's so satisfying, especially when you're trying to like build some muscle, all that good stuff.
It's not necessary. It's just a myth. It's a well-marketed myth that you have to add extra protein, amino acids. It doesn't have to be like this, okay? But the marketers have done such a great job. Mother's milk is less than 5% of protein, calories from protein. And it is so, it's so perfect for us as babies to build our bodies. It's a time when we're actually growing the most. So it's obviously the time when we need the most protein. But when you start adding things like this, the protein content goes way up.
So I'm probably going to go for like
But I'm not against tofu. Don't get me wrong. Okay, don't get me wrong. But if you're adding it for muscle building reasons, you are misguided. You do not have to do that. It's just adding unnecessary load and acid basically to your body. Tofu, a bit of tofu here and there, okay, it's all right. But yeah.
third of this block of tofu. Oh wow, look at that, purple.
Wow. Yeah, that's quite a lot. I wouldn't recommend that in one go.
Oh goodness. Slice it up. I like it into little tiny baby mini chunks, almost like...
I mean, I like eating it too, but it's definitely hard on the digestive system. It provides you with too much amino acids.
Actually, you know what? I'm totally obsessed with pickles at the moment. I just can't get enough. I buy like 4 or 5 jars every single week. And yesterday I made the most incredible...
Wow, 4 or 5 jars in a week? She's almost having like a jar of pickles a day. Okay, that's another sign. That's another interesting side behavior that starts to happen when we're not getting enough simple sugars, enough glucose, fructose to the brain. We do start to go for the salty stuff. I've noticed that with high carb Hannah as well. Yeah, it's a red flag. It's a sign that she's not getting enough fruit.
incredible rest.
Even though it is a fruit, but sweet fruit, I should say.
Oh, and so it is the tofu, right? I think we are ready to bring it together. Oh my God.
It is a large percentage of tofu right here.
Gosh, look at that. Yes! I am totally aware of how ridiculous this looks, but I will eat it all. I promise. I have been doing it every single day. If you are a volume eater, this is how you can do it.
No, a true volume eater is a fruit eater who is actually eating the volume, but they're also getting the sugar, they're also getting the carbs. Like we're all about the volume, and I think it's great. But if you're not getting enough sugar, you're not getting enough simple sugar, and you're depending on the complex carbohydrates, you're just getting glucose that's breaking down to only glucose. There's no fructose in those complex carbohydrates, for instance, the oats. You need to have the fructose as well, and some vegetables have a little bit, but not enough. So you can see she's loading up on these bloating, fiber-filled vegetables, which, look, fiber is good, but fruit has a more balanced ratio of insoluble and soluble fiber. So it's actually more gentle. It's gentle on the gut, but there's more insoluble fiber in the vegetables in general, okay? I think it's something like up to 80%, can be 60 to 80% is insoluble fiber with the vegetables, but fruit has a more even split, so it's actually more gentle on your gut. So I'm not sure what's going on here, hang on.
So sauerkraut, gorgeous that is, like dive right in. You've got to kind of go like all the way to the center. Ah! I'm losing all the bits, I'm losing all the bits. I just cannot get enough of this. It's just, it ticks all the boxes, and it's just...
It does not tick all the boxes. She's very, very hungry, guys. She's very, very hungry.
It's got absolutely everything you could possibly want.
No, it doesn't want or need. You also have to meet your needs too.
In my eyes. And it's especially good because I'm really, really hungry.
There she goes again. I'm really, really hungry. These are obvious red flags. She's dipping into adaptive thermogenesis. She's really setting herself up for a future fail. She really is. The fact that she's running, that's good, but she is just not meeting her needs. She's depleting herself and losing weight through restriction and through calorie burning. If she doesn't do it soon, she is going to she'll expand again in time. I've seen it so many times, again and again and again.
Okay, yeah, that really hits the spot. Anyway.
I'm not against vegetables. Remember that. Hopefully this is not coming across like I'm against vegetables. Hopefully I'm explaining myself well enough here and you can see what I'm talking about and understand the concept that I'm trying to share.
If you want a crazy concoction that I promise you is very yummy, I recommend you go.
Why has the watermelon just stayed there in the background? It's almost like symbolic. It's like she knew I was going to watch this video. The watermelon has stayed in the background untouched. I'm confused about that because the watermelon will just go off. Maybe she cracked it and it was bad and she just left it and said screw it and ate other things. I'm not sure. Maybe her children?
Give something like this a whirl. You can do any kind of sauce, any kind of veggies, mix it up with what you have at home, but it's just such a great framework for a weight loss meal.
No, it's not, sister. You're under-eating and unfortunately you're teaching others how to under-eat as well. And this is this is a big part of why people check off the plant-based diet and they leave veganism, and it's very sad. You need to be satisfied, not just with a full belly. You need the sugar. You need the simple sugar. And also you don't want to be bloated and have all your energy going towards digestion all day.
I'm going to go and do some editing, going to go and do some work, and then later on I'm going to be taking you to our friend's house, and they're like oil-free vegan, which is amazing. So she's making like a gorgeous feast, so I'll show you what I end up having there, and it's always amazing. It's so nice to not be the one cooking sometimes. Okay, so I did finish everything in my plate. I know it was gigantic, it was so good, and after a lovely run like that, I really needed it. So I am just getting packed, getting ready to go and pick the kids up and then head to our friend's house, but I am still a little bit hungry.
I'm still a little bit hungry, yes.
So I thought I would just eat the last final persimmon whilst on the way.
Good, eat some fruit, that's good.
Because fruit really is the best snack, and it's also
the best food in general, meal, snack.
so fast food, you can take it on the go, it's so good.
Oh gosh, Amy, yes. It's like she understands, but she doesn't understand.
Right. Isn't that the best persimmon you've ever seen? It's like such
Wow, she's eating it hard like that. You can, some of them are not astringent.
a big, fat, juicy persimmon. It's so good.
Is that fun? But it's not playtime now, it's dinner time. I'm hungry.
Okay, so that's what she's having. Quinoa, some like, I'm not sure what that is, maybe seitan or something, or like stewy thing. Some fried tofu, maybe some chips. Okay. All right, so let's do a roundup of her day here. It's about like a bit under 1,200 calories, I believe, before she went to dinner. I'm not exactly sure what dinner was, but she's definitely not eating enough calories, especially the fact that she's going for a run as well. So she's having under 2,000 calories. And it's also quite high percentage of fat, like up to 20% fat that she's having. So that is actually the macro that causes the fat gain, is the fat. So you want to keep that lower. You want to keep that around 10% or less calories. Way easy to stay lean when you do that. So, excuse me, just rounding it all up, the problems I have with this, the complex carbs, harder to break down, require more energy from your body, which should be going to your brain, to your muscle function, to detoxification, rather than going to your digestive system. Fruit pre-digests itself. It has its own enzymes. It doesn't require hardly any enzymes from the pancreas to release. But when it comes to oats require a lot of enzymes from the pancreas to digest. They don't come with their own enzymes. They're enzymatically dead food. So there's another plus for fruit, right? Fruit has that hydration, that living structured water. The oats don't have anything like that. There's too much volume, vegetable matter, and not enough, and not enough actual simple sugars, monosaccharides that fuel the body and brain. There's too much fiber and not enough monosaccharides, simple sugars to fuel the body and the brain. We're not herbivorous animals. We don't have the gut capability to digest this food properly, and it causes bloating, digestive issues, inflammation in the gut, delayed gastric emptying because of the complex carbs and the fat as well together. So this can cause blood sugar issues and insulin issues. She's not replenishing her liver glycogen from overnight properly because she's not getting enough fructose. There's a lot of problems here. She's having the like caffeine and the theobromine. She's, you know, basically addicted to stimulants because she's under eating, not enough total calories in general. So, oh, yeah, you can see this can lead to people leaving the diet over time. Sure, they can stay on for years, but long term, I see a lot of them leaving, a lot of them gaining a lot of weight back, a lot of them just not thriving. You know, you can create nutritional deficiencies eating this way. It's not great. So Amy, please eat more fruit. Come on, try a fruit-based diet. Try a big smoothie for breakfast. I know she's afraid of gaining weight, so she's restricting, but this will not work long term. All right, that's my video for today. I hope it helped. Leave comments down below what you think, and remember, it's not hating on Amy. It's just critiquing the food choices. All right, don't forget to go fruit yourself. And check out the VIP community. I'll leave a link down below to apply for the 12-month upcoming course starting in January. Don't you want to start the year and have a whole year as like a vibrant frugivore, living how you're meant to, basically like eating a diet that is very close to your species-specific diet, and that is the raw till forward diet. All right, I'll talk to you soon.